BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
U.S. concerns over Chinese leadership at a key chipmaker surfaced prior to the Dutch government's recent intervention in the company, according to recently revealed court documents. These documents indicate that U.S. officials alerted the Netherlands in June that Nexperia, a chip manufacturer with Chinese ownership, might face significant export restrictions to the United States if its chief executive, Zhang Shuijing, remained in his position. The Dutch government, in a decisive move late Sunday, invoked a law dating back to the Cold War era to effectively assume control of the company. This action was justified by citing major shortcomings that could jeopardize security of supply of crucial chips to European manufacturing facilities. By the time of this governmental action, Zhang had already been suspended from his role at Nexperia, a company under the control of China's WinGTech. The emergence of these U.S. concerns as far back as June sheds new light on the situation. A preliminary court ruling made public on Tuesday included minutes from a meeting held on June 12. During this meeting, the U.S.'s Bureau of International Security and Non-Proliferation explicitly communicated to the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs that the fact that the company's CEO is still the same Chinese owner is problematic. The U.S. officials further stated, "It is almost certain that the CEO will have to be replaced." This warning followed Washington's decision last year to place WinGTech on its entity list, a designation reserved for companies perceived as a national security threat. WinGTech was added to this list due to its alleged involvement in aiding China's government's efforts to acquire entities with sensitive semiconductor manufacturing capacity. WinGTech itself has a substantial connection to Chinese governmental entities, with approximately 30% ownership held by Chinese national and regional governments, along with affiliated investment funds. The acquisition of the Dutch chipmaker Nexperia by WinGTech occurred in 2018, marking a significant shift from its previous ownership by the Dutch consumer electronics giant Philips. The implications of WinGTech's inclusion on the entity list became more pronounced on September 30, when the list was expanded to encompass company subsidiaries. This expansion meant that Nexperia would face the full weight of these restrictions by the end of November. In a move described as extraordinary, the Dutch government announced on Sunday its decision to take control of Nexperia, which is headquartered in Nijmegen. The primary rationale cited was concern over the potential transfer of technology to WinGTech. This intervention has undoubtedly escalated tensions with Beijing. Nexperia itself has stated that it is now engaged in negotiations with the United States to address and potentially remove the barriers to its exports. Adding another layer to the international reaction, China responded on Tuesday by prohibiting Nexperia and its subcontractors from exporting components that had been assembled within China, further intensifying the ongoing friction with the U.S. The official newspaper of the Central Committee of the Chinese Communist Party, the People's Daily, characterized the Dutch takeover as robbery in legal disguise. The publication issued a stern warning, suggesting that Western nations are employing national security as a pretext to mask their own struggles to keep pace with China's advancements. The newspaper boldly asserted, China's scientific and technological progress has profoundly shaken the nerves of Western hegemony. This Dutch intervention occurs approximately 18 months after the United Kingdom's government mandated WinGTech to divest its 86% stake in a significant silicon chip plant located in Newport, Wales. The Newport facility, being the largest of its kind in the country, was subject to scrutiny amid prevailing security concerns. WinGTech, in its Fan condemned the Dutch government's action as excessive interference driven by geopolitical bias. The company further alleged that non-Chinese executives within Nexperia had attempted a cloaked power grab by seeking to forcibly alter the company's equity structure through legal maneuvers. Vincent Carmans, the Dutch Minister for Economic Affairs, communicated to Dutch broadcaster NOS that he had recently received serious and urgent signals that the company has major shortcomings that could jeopardize security of supply. He emphasized the potential ramifications, stating, "This would have major consequences for the European and Dutch economies." The Dutch government's action involved invoking previously unused powers under a Dutch statute known as the Availability of Goods Act. This law, crucially, does not grant the state outright ownership but rather empowers it to either reverse or block management decisions deemed detrimental. Nexperia also has a notable presence across Europe, with several subsidiaries including wafer production facilities in Manchester, United Kingdom, and Hamburg, Germany. The Amsterdam Commercial Court, in its preliminary opinion, found well-founded reasons to doubt the correct policy and correct conduct of affairs were being pursued by the company. In response, the court appointed Dutch businessman Guido Dierik to assume Zhang's former position, granting him deciding vote authority. Control over nearly all of Nexperia's shares was transferred to a Dutch lawyer tasked with managing them. Court documents further revealed that the Dutch state and the company's labor council had both expressed support for these decisive measures. This complex web of international concern, corporate maneuvering, and governmental